Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Long Live the Clean, Try 2. So far, we've been doing rather well. We went to a birthday party, talked to some people. I think some girl's about to get killed at some mysterious old palace. And we're working on military stuff right now, so let's keep on doing that stuff. We're gonna work on... Yeah, we'll do classes, we'll just do strategy and get that done with. You learn about how units reinforce each other in the field, gaining strength through proximity and the covering of weaknesses. You study the effects of different kinds of battle terrain for both offense and defense. You study the power of ranged weapons, from arrows to thrown fire and sand, and how the threat of such attacks can shift the enemy's response. You study the use of cavalry in battle, as well as the costs and benefits of traveling with large animals. You study the effects of strong hierarchy on military organization and the ability of troops to respond to changing situations. Communication across an army can be difficult. Disrupted signals can lead to chaos. Things have been so unsettled lately. Everyone's on edge. We need to be careful. You could hold a tournament. What a good idea. Knights, jousting, musicians, all sorts of competitions. Everyone loves a contest, and that gives more opportunity for me to die from assassins. What will you offer as prizes to the winners? Status and praise, employment, and gold. Employment would be... I don't want to give gold. Status and praise, I think, would be probably the true gain from a tournament. Being declared to be the best in front of an entire domain should be prize enough for anyone. Very well, I will draft the announcements. You leave him to his work. About time he's doing something. As you move through the hall, your eyes falls upon a vase of flowers. Pretty, but apparently not getting enough water. The leaves on one blossom have shriveled. Divination failed, decoration failed. Someone on hall duty is being lazy. Those flowers should be replaced. You continue up the stairs to your room where a maid is waiting for you. My lady, a gift has arrived from Kigal. From the Duke? No, my lady, a merchant house. I believe it was sent with a shipment down the Cavallo River. You tear open the brightly colored paper to find chocolates. Uh-oh. There's a little card with the box with our compliments, the House of Carriot. Court manner success. That's oddly high-handed for some tiny trader I've never heard of. Dogs failed. This is the one check that involves dogs. Okay, the reason I say uh-oh is because obviously this is, if you haven't guessed already, this is poison candy. If you do not pass any checks at all, you will automatically eat this candy, and it will probably kill you. Maybe you might get a poison check. I don't know. I guess if you had if you made the dog's check, you can have a dog eat it and see if they live through it, and everything else, as long as you pass a check, as you know. So we got a lot of checks here, which is good. So we're just gonna go ahead and save it for later. I don't feel like eating candy right now. Maybe later. Alright, how's our mood? Right now we're still willful. We're still working on military stuff, I believe. Yes, we are. And there's not much we need to work on. We can become a little depressed, or we can get rid of our afraid bonus. What does afraid give us? It gives us agility. I don't want to get rid of that. I wouldn't mind well... We can become cheerful or depressed, I guess. It doesn't really matter either way. Lonely and cheerful. Willful. Don't want that. Yeah, having to constantly balance these out is a little annoying. But not that big of a deal. We'll go ahead and just get rid of the afraid. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, skill-wise, we're doing pretty good. We're going to keep working on naval strategy, I think. So let's do some, well, yeah, work on naval strategy next, and we should be good to go. So, classes, naval strategy. You learn about the challenges to naval warfare posed by unpredictable weather, as well as the dangers of sailing too close to an unknown coastline. You learn about the use of ships and transporting ground soldiers between locations. You study the cost, time, and materials required to construct new ships. You study blockades, both setting them and breaking them. You study the effects of cannons against coastal installations, such as enemy docks and seaside villages. This is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned out to compete against each other. The people will be pleased if you participate in their games. However, it would expose you to danger. What event would you wish to take part in? Our best one is probably going to be fencing, but we could die. This will probably be a horse check. This will involve some sort of musical instrument type check. Falconry. I believe this is the point where you actually get to do the 60-point falcon checks. I'm not going to do jousting, and I'm not going to do archery. Well, I could do archery, but honestly, let's do some fencing. And die. Here the devotees of the blade can challenge each other to duels fought only for points, not blood and honor. You win your first match to uproarious applause, but are soon overpowered by more experienced competitors. Still, you did very well for your first tournament. All the winners are announced and displayed to great cheers. As near queen, you place flower garlands around their necks. All of a sudden, a man approaches the winner's platform. It's Kevin, the Earl of Aloe. In one hand, he carries an armor gauntlet, in the other, a sword. My family's blood is on your hands. What is he talking about? He casts the metal glove to the ground with a clatter and raises a sword, pointing it at you. I challenge you, Elodie. A life for a life. He's challenged you to a duel. Will magic failed. You could blow him away with magic, I guess. But, let's accept and die. Very well, I will meet your challenge. As the challenge party, you have the choice of weapons. Swords. Bring me my sword. The crowd seems not to realize at first that this is a blood match and not entertainment, or perhaps they do, and their cheering is all the louder for it. Kevin's rage fills him with great strength, but makes him erratic and unpredictable. Worse, he's armored, and he seems willing to settle for nothing less than your death or his. Athletics failed. Fortunately, your exertions in the tournament have drained your strength. You can barely keep your guard up. Before you can begin to work out some way to safely forfeit, you have fallen. And there you go, we died. So yeah, an athletic check. Well, let's go ahead and just load. So, we've been working on this stuff. Problem is athletics. How am I gonna get that? It's just purely athletics too, which is kind of annoying. I don't like the fact that it was just a random one-check thing. That's what kind of annoys me the most about it. Alright, so I can refuse it, and it won't really matter. But, let's see if we can do it. I won't reread these, but, I do want to go ahead and keep getting the strategy thing done while I still can, so done. Done. Status and praise. Save it for later. Okay, so what we need to be is cheerful. Easier said than done. Actually, it's very easy. I can do this. Sort of. Okay, what I have to do... Why am I afraid? Oh, whatever. Okay, so what we need to do is get rid of the afraid first. So we'll do that. Classes. Naval strategy, done. Nope, okay, I don't get the option here. We'll not take any participation in any of them. I guess I'll watch from my tower. The tournament goes on without you. After the tournament, my tragedy is revealed. One of the stewards apparently had an incredible sweet tooth and dared to steal a piece of your recently received chocolates. He had a sweet tooth. The chocolates were poisoned. When you ask questions, it turns out the merchant house, which supposedly sent you this present, never existed. Someone has tried to kill you, but you don't know who. So, that's it. Okay, so I guess we'll just keep going. Sorry if I had to load, but I really didn't want to start all the way over. So I want to go ahead and stick with what we're doing. We are willful. We've pretty much maxed out what we need to max out. But I can go ahead and start working on lumen magic, so maybe I'll work on that. Let's get rid of that afraid. At the very least, I would like to be able to resist magic, so let's go classes. As you can see, I'm pretty much maxed out on a lot of stuff now. I still want to keep the intrigue up, because the moment I take this thing off and I go below 90 on some of these, I'm probably going to fail some checks, and that's just going to annoy me to no end. I can work on court manners and public speaking. Actually, that's because I just have a lot of points. Alright, let's work on lumen stuff. We're going to go ahead and do some classes on lumen. We're going to learn resist magic. Get that going. You increase your awareness of your own thoughts and emotions, making it more difficult for mind-affecting magic to twist your reactions. You learn to consciously project a magical field through your thoughts, blocking outside magic from touching your mind, but only when you have the energy to consciously resist. You gain innate resistance to light and dark. You can now see in the blackest caves or stare into the sun without going blind. My lady, your father wishes to speak with you. He says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted on approach from Shangia, not trade ships. This is a war fleet. What? Within a week they will be in Novan waters. Within 2 they can reach the capital. Then we will fight to defend ourselves. You can try to use the treasury funds to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult on short notice. Recruit soldiers. Fine, we'll do that. You'll need to draw up a naval strategy for a ship to carry out. You can choose to act as admiral and lead the fleet in person, but the danger to you would be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I would strongly advise against it. I want to go ahead and direct the fleet. The risk is mine to take. You have your mother's heart. There's one more thing I hesitate to ask, but an invasion. This is the sort of disaster for which a lumen's power may be worth the cost. If the fleet could be destroyed before they reached our waters, many lives would be saved. I don't know any magic that could sink a full fleet. I'll have to talk to my mentor. You find the Duchess of Ursul in her guest quarters. A fleet from Sanjia is attacking us. Is it possible to sink them all with magic? It is easy enough to attack one soldier, one ship as a demonstration, but to obliterate an entire fleet, you would need an immense amount of power spread over a large area, more than any one lumen could control. If you tried to raise that much power yourself, you would die. Not could, would. So it's hopeless. We'll just have to rely on our soldiers. And I don't really have enough power to do that anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and we don't want lonely. Once again, get rid of the afraid. Alright, so we're pretty much at the end game here. So let's go ahead and save. We're just gonna be like, we'll save here. We'll call this Big Battle. Yeah, despite the text box being small, it actually expands as you type. So, save. There we go, Big Battle. Return. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and... what's our skills at? Alright, we're gonna go ahead and change our outfit. We're gonna be awesome military person. As for classes, it's gonna be a bit iffy. Internal affairs, Novan affairs. There's not much we can really work with. Actually, presence and public speaking type stuff. Maybe public speaking can help. I don't know. Let's see. Conversation, public speaking. The ability to use words well under pressure. Military, we're good on. I don't think we'll be able to work with the magic at all, so we're just going to go ahead and go to conversation. I'm going to go ahead and see about public speaking, see if that helps. Public speaking. Yeah, 2 of those should do it. Speaking. You borrow the menu for an upcoming banquet and practice delivering it as a dramatic speech to an audience of confused chambermaids. You learn about debate techniques and practice them by trying to convince a castle gardener why a new fountain would be a good idea. And this will probably max us out to almost 100. Your teacher assigns you to create and memorize a short speech of your own. Your teacher assigns you to read about a subject, memorize a few good phrases for the beginning and ending of the speech, and then make up the rest on the spot. Danger on the high seas. Ships close in on each other, angling into range. You take your positions with a spyglass, watching the enemy movements closely and shouting out any necessary changes in plan. The Sanjians have half again as many troops as you do. It doesn't look promising. But magic failed. The eventual outcome is not in your favor. The Novan ships are sunk or scattered as the Shanjian forces press towards landfall. Strategy plus naval strategy, whatever. Your aggressive strategy allows you to recognize when the tipping point has been passed and order your remaining vessels to retreat before they are all destroyed. In other words, that's just to keep you from not keep you from dying. This saves lives, but it means leaving the Novan approach completely unguarded. Many good soldiers were lost today, and Nova's troubles have not ended. Since you have failed to repel the invasion, the Sonjian fleet will soon land, and their troops will begin to progress towards your capital city. Your remaining troops will hold them off as long as possible, of course, but the main strength of the military has been exhausted. Nova's future looks bleak. Well, what's my mood? I'm angry. It's really, really hard to be angry. Whatever, we'll work with it. What do we got? Why is this epic music still going? Just do that. I'm pretty much probably, what, depressed now? Yeah, I'm depressed. Whatever. So I guess I could have done a land war, and done that option. I'll try, well, I think I've already saved, so it doesn't matter. Oh, what can I work on now? I can work on foreign intelligence, and internal affairs, or I can work on things like presence and composure and elegance. And might as well. Real demeanor, real demeanor. Presence, composure. At your command, your teacher strikes your palm with a leather toss, and you learn to bear the sting. Oh wow, that's harsh. You lie on a couch and try to remain relaxed while your teacher smacks your heels with a leather toss. Really? Really? You practice watching people and willing them to feel your gaze on them. Inevitably, they will be drawn to you. The invasion of Nova is proceeding. Your coastline is under Sonjian control. Soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields and frightening citizens. A diplomatic delegation from Sonji has requested access to the castle to discuss terms most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies. The surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem that you have no choice. You prepare yourselves as best as you can to meet with the representatives of Sonjia. You expected diplomats and military representatives, a general or an admiral. You did not expect a handsome man decked in jewels who stands before you, a man announced by your servants as Togami, the king of Sonjia. Wow, I failed everything. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? It's a magic fail. My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. Composure, success. You yearn to slap the false sympathy off his oily fez, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. Oh, by the way. King of Sonjia, age unknown. Togami comes from a land across the ocean. You know nothing about his family. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the powers of a lumen. I propose a formal duel. My powers against yours. The winner takes control of Nova, the loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life. That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? I swear to it by the gods, Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I don't like this, but what choice do I have? There's not much we can do. I'm a little annoyed that none of my military stuff can be used at all. So I'm going to refuse outright. If my power is more important than my land, then I won't let you have it. Then you and your land will die together. Goodbye, little princess. There's nothing more for you to do. He and his delegation return to the army, where they will resume the attack. You will resist as long as you can, but in the end, you will fall. Alright, well, let's quickly just load. I've already done that, so I'm going to have to go back to this one, unfortunately. Yes, go to this one. Alright. So, that's... okay, fine. I'm just gonna work on Lumen. Well, I don't have enough time to work on Lumen stuff. It's week 32. so that's not going to help. I would literally have to, it's not going to be just a straight will magic check, and I don't have enough time to get the outfit either. Well, I can get the outfit, but I won't be able to get much else. So I'm a little, yeah, I don't understand why there's yeah, I kind of don't understand what's the issue here. So what we're going to do is just go outfit, we'll go ahead, well actually, oh, it's foreign affairs left. Well, you know what? I'll just keep that outfit. Classes, strategy. Actually, with this save, we might be able to work with it. Annoying. Alright. Classes. Lumen, wheel magic. We'll see if this works. I'm just gonna speed through stuff, I guess. Yeah, I know. Status and praise. Yes, I know. Save it for later. Thank you. Mood. Just get rid of the frayed. I don't care about any of that. Classes. Will magic. Resist magic. Or sense magic. Sense magic. That's fine. Done. Let's get it going. Yeah. None. Get rid of the afraid. See if we can actually make this work. But it's like, I mean, for one, it didn't give me any option to like do anything else. It was like, okay, you can do naval combat, that's it. You can also use magic, that was the other option. Yeah, unlocked an outfit. Recruit soldiers. Stay in the capital. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it. So, maybe I should have done the military stuff. We'll see. We'll keep, give me my stupid magical girl outfit. Classes. Skills. Sense magic. I think the sense magic will just let me know that he's a lumen. So what I'm gonna go ahead and work on now is, well, I'm at +2, that's good. That means I'm getting 20, I'll get up to 80. Classes. Wheel magic, done. Sorry, I'm not reading them, I'm kind of just speeding through. Danger on the high seas, ships, blah blah blah, blah blah. Eventual outcome, it's not in favor. So it doesn't matter if you show up there or not, you literally have to... So, the naval strategy thing, all it does is prevent you from dying when you go out there, which doesn't help you at all. Get rid of the depression. Classes. Wield magic. Skills. Yeah. Max out wield magic, and then get resist magic. Done. Sorry I'm not reading these, I'm kind of just wanting to see the end now. Trampling fields, defiling. Intelligence failed, war history. Since magic failed. Court manner success. That's about the... You aren't just... Okay, so if you fail the composure check, you can make a court manners check instead. It's good that you have other options. Like, they give you other options for stuff that's kind of not important, and then the stuff that's, like, you know, very important, you get, like, one check. It's very annoying. Contest game. The other option we could have done is I could have married, which is a possibility. Since magic failed. Foreign intelligence failed. I'm pretty sure if, yeah, whatever, accept his terms. Then I must. Tokami explains the rules of formal dueling to you, including a carefully inscribed circle of wards which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. Resist magic success. You trade attacks, one spell sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting if your life weren't on the line. Since Its magic failed, and then one little spell, which seemed so weak and harmless that it wasn't even worth blocking, latches onto you like a cold and begins to drain your strength, first in a tiny trickle, then more, the spell gaining power as you lose it. Versus magic fail. You struggle to fight back, and everything goes black, and you die. Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call this try 2 and call it done. You guys got to see a bunch of ways to die, I guess. I'm still rather annoyed by the lack of options at the end. That was very, very, very annoying. Oh well. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a video. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this was Long Live the Queen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.